It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Slayton's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly bring you Wisconsin Baseball Association State Tournament action with pool play from Carson Park in Eau Claire. Stay with us as we bring you all the action from pools 1 and 2 to see which two teams will make it to the Final Four on Sunday in Osseo. And now, out to Carson Park and the next WBA State Tournament game.
And good afternoon from Carson Park. Rick Olson here along with Ben Ryder, Ann Monroe, and Dan Petchow. Ben and Ann are busily writing down lineups and trying to get things ready for us to go in Game 3 of our quadruple header. The teams have just finished doing their ins and outs, and we should be able to give you starting lineups in just a moment. In this game, we have the Everest Merchants. They will be the visiting team taking on the River Falls Fighting Fish. And Ben, do you have the starting lineups, or are you ready to do that, or? And so I'm going to turn it over to Ben. He says he's got the starting lineup ready.
Okay, we're gonna do River Falls Fighting Fish first. Batting first, number 24, Brian Gabel. Batting second, number 2, Trey Larson. Batting third, number 28, Spencer Dietrich. Batting fourth, number 3, Lucas Buki. Batting fifth, number 10, Ty Denzer. Batting sixth, number 5, Reagan Pino. Batting 7, number 8, Kyle Fars. Batting 8th, number 13, Carter Elliott, the DH. Batting 9th, number 21, Trevor Gutting. And the pitcher is Charlie Griffin. Now, we're going to do the starting lineup for Everest. Batting first, number 26, Wade Farmer. Batting second, number 24, Ben McGuire. Batting third, number 17, Brandon Kranz. Batting fourth, number 22, Josh Nielsen. Batting fifth, number 20, Ryan Hubasek. Batting sixth, number 5, Logan Longheim. Batting seventh, number 29, Nick Barnes. Batting eighth, number 31, Nolan Hopke. Batting number 9, number 12, Coleman Schilling. And something you don't see very often, the shortstop is being DH'd for, and the shortstop is Tanner Graham. And the DH for Tanner Graham, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be number 29, Nick Barnes.
Okay, and we will work through these lineups as best we can. I think we might have some confused names here. And I had the umpires for this game written down, and I don't know what I did with that. Oh, here we go. I've got it here. I think this is it. Yes. Behind the home is Jamison Schmidt. Out on first base is Dick Smith, and Billy McKnight is the umpire on third base. And they are having the conference down at home plate. And oh, I see why that happened. I'm just looking at this lineup trying to figure out who's doing what to whom on this, and I think I've got it. And Dan is just about set to do camera work, and we are getting really close to being ready to go. We're going to turn it over to the public address announcer, Steve Kent, for his announcements.
As a financial judges, all students and non-smoking facility. If you want smoke, we ask that you please do the state. Again, there is no smoking in Carson Park Baseball Stadium. Thank you. Finally, all fans, especially those in bleachers, you're reminded, stay focused. 12 balls may enter the stands at a high rate of speed. We ask that you remain alert at all times. Today's starting lineups, beginning with the Everest Merchants. Leading off and playing center field, number 26, Wade Farmer. At second, the first baseman, number 24, Roman McGuire. At playing third base, number 17, Brandon Grams. Fourth, pitcher, number 22, Josh Nielsen. Batting fifth in center field, number 20, Brian Hubachek. Batting sixth, catcher, number 5, Logan Langman. Hitting seventh, rookie hitter, number 29, Nick Barnes. Batting eighth, at second base, number 31, Nolan Hoppy. Batting ninth, left fielder, number 12, Colin Schilling. And playing shortstop, 9, Tanner Graham. Which is our coach line, Tom Fish. Now, the second line, for the River Falls, Slade Fish. Leading off, playing left field, for 24, Brian Keel. Batting second, for shortstop, number 2, Trey Larson. Hitting third, playing center field, number 28, Spencer Hendrick. Batting cleanup. Number 3, Lucas Lukey. Batting fifth and center field, number 10, Ty Benzer. Hitting sixth, third baseman, number 5, Reagan Peno. Hitting seventh, the first baseman, number 8, Kyle Fritz. And batting eighth, wicket-hitter, number 13, Carter Elliott. And batting ninth, the catcher, number 1, Trevor Redding. Coaching for the ball is 19, Charlie Griffin. The finish of coach by Josh Hunt, the 65 and Matt North. The officials for second game on the bases, Mr. Blake Smith and Mr. Billy McKnight. And behind home plate, Sir Jameson Schmidt.
Okay, we are just about ready to get things rolling here as the River Falls Fighting Fish have taken the field. Today's game, this game will determine who represents Pool 1 in the Final Four tomorrow down in Osseo. River Falls Fighting Fish were victorious over the Cavaliers by a score of 10-0 last night. And the Everest Merchants beat the Cavs by a score of 8-6 earlier today.
And the big question is, can Everest hold them down?
Yeah, that really is the question of the day. The Fighting Fish have bats that just won't quit, and defensively they play really tough ball.
You know, I was talking to Coach Bennister earlier today, and he said if I had 3 pitchers that were good, I'd pitch all 3 for 3 innings apiece and check this out.
So we're getting ready to get started, and stepping up to the plate is Wade Farmer, the center fielder for the Everest Merchants. There's a pop-up out in the center field. Left fielder Gibel coming in, then makes the catch. Batting second is Roman McGuire, the first baseman. And the first pitch to McGuire is high for a ball. Charlie Griffin on the mound for the Fighting Fish. Here's the wind and the 1-0 pitch. Swung on a miss for strike one. And a ground ball over toward the first base side foul.
Just want to mention quickly, Griffin has pitched in 57 1/3 innings coming into the tournament. He's played in 12 games. And boy, he's tough.
Here's the wind and the pitch. That missed, but I'm not sure in what way. Dan says it was high. I'll believe it. Dan's got a better eye for high and low than I do. Swing and foul back.
Griffin comes in with the second best record on the Fighting Fish with a 6-1 record, 0 saves.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Roman McGuire. And time is called.
And Griffin's only given up 63 hits on the season.
And that pitch misses for a ball. Count goes full.
And his whip is 1.62, so it's right around that 1.5 area.
There's a fly ball out into center field. Moving over is Diedrich, and he makes the catch. 2 down, and it's going to bring up Brandon Kranz.
Right guard, third baseman, presenting Brandon Kranz.
And the first pitch to Kranz is called strike. And a ground ball foul down the first base side. Kranz went 2 for 4 in the game against the Cavaliers. And the pitch, all back into the screen. Here's the wind and the pitch. Ground ball foul on the first base side again. Count holds at 0-2.
Boy, this is interesting. Somebody's finally putting pressure on this River Falls team. That's something we haven't seen a lot this tournament.
Well, the Cavaliers held him scoreless for a few innings as well. So it's a little early to say they're putting pressure on him. He's battling tough at the plate.
That's what I meant. It's not like they're going up there 0-2 swinging at dumb pitches. They're holding their own up there.
Fly ball out into center field. Coming in is Diedrich, and he makes a catch. So Everest goes down 1-2-3 on 3 fly balls. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We played a half inning, and it's Everest nothing, and the River Falls Fighting Fish coming to bat on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
I love the pizza we get when we go to Gino's Pizza.
That's because Gino's has been voted best pizza in the Chippewa Valley 5 years in a row.
I think it's because Gino's uses the freshest ingredients, premium quality meats, cheeses, savory spices, and zesty toppings, and all served with attention to detail.
Now you're making me hungry. Let's head to Gino's Pizza.
Scott and the rest of the folks at Gino's Pizza would like to invite you to come out and try the area's best pizza. Call about Monday through Wednesday dine-in specials at 715-835-2000. That's Gino's Pizza at 5110 Fairview Drive, Eau Claire, right next to Chaos Water Park.
Jason?
Let's go see your room.
That's not right. How was it? Is it good?
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-TV. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40.
Heading into the bottom of the first inning and due up for the Fighting Fish are Brian Giebel, Trey Larson, and Spencer Dietrich. And Giebel sends one down the third base line. Giebel.
Giebel comes into the tournament with 44 hits. He's got 23 singles, 16 doubles, and 1 triple.
So no balls and a strike. Josh Nielsen on the mound for the Merchants, and that pitch missed for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike called on the inside corner. This is game 3 of our quadruple header today. And a chopper foul right at the plate. One ball, 2 strikes, and it's a soft looper out into center field for a base hit. So Giebel is on first. And it's going to bring up Trey Larson, the shortstop.
Trey Larson has 40 hits on the season, 30 singles, and 9 doubles.
Batting second, the shortstop, number 2, Trey Larson.
Looks over at first. Belt, and he delivers. Larson shows bunt and a fire down to first, and Giebel is back safely. First pitch was called a ball. Giebel takes his lead, and the pitch called strike right down the middle of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Trey Larson. And the pitch. Just missed outside. Dan thought it was a strike. Two balls, 2 strikes. Jamison Schmidt behind the plate calling balls and strikes. And the pitch. High pop-up in foul territory. Drifting over is Kranz, and he can't make the catch. It got a little bit behind him.
And with River Falls, you cannot do that.
Got to make every out you can get your hands on.
You can't give them second chances.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, runner on first. And the pitch. Strike 3 call. Trey Larson goes down looking. That's going to bring up Spencer Dietrich.
Spencer Dietrich coming in has 55 hits on the season, 24 singles, 15 doubles, and 3 triples. Pretty impressive there.
And the first pitch is a ball. Dietrich homered twice against the Cavaliers last night. He was responsible for 5 RBIs. He also had a ground rule double. So a lot of power in Dietrich's bat. Two balls, no strikes. And the pitch. Strike called. Two balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. Pop up, and it's out of play. Two balls and a strike. To Spencer Dietrich. Runner on first. That's Brian Giebel. And the pitch, runner goes, throw down to second, and he's in safely.
Is there anything River Falls doesn't do well?
That's why they're a special team.
They're aggressive on the base paths.
This is why they are the defending state champions, and they're #1 ranked in the state. Three balls, 2 strikes, and the payoff pitch. High pop-up, shallow left field, moving back is Graham, and he makes the catch. Two down. Lucas Ludke comes to the plate.
Ludke comes in, 53 hits on the season, 30 singles, 12 doubles, and 1 triple.
And he had one last night as well, because he went 1 for 3 last night, but that one was a triple to center field. And the pitch inside for a ball.
I should mention there's a huge gap out in left center field, or correction, right center field.
Although Farmer has really good range.
Yes, he does.
Fly ball out into left, moving over Schilling, and he makes the catch for the 3rd out. So for the Fighting Fish, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. We've played an inning and we have no score from Carson Park on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us, on the roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Visit either of Eau Claire's 2 locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores on Highway 93 or North Claremont Avenue.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Back here at Carson Park, we're getting ready to head to the second inning. Due up for the Everest Merchants and the top of the seventh. We have Josh Nielsen, Ryan Hubacek, and Connor Langben. Or maybe it's Logan Langben. Let me look at the number. It's Logan Langben. And a fly ball out into center field. Dietrich is under it, and he makes the catch. So of the 4 outs that have been made by the Merchants, 3 of them have been fly balls caught by Dietrich. Ryan Hubacek. He's the right fielder. Hubacek went 3 for 4 against the Cavaliers. Singled twice, hit a double, scored twice, knocked in a couple runs. Here's the wind and the pitch. That's high and away for a ball. The wind and the pitch. That was a called strike on the outside corner. Here's the wind and the 3-1 pitch. That's inside for ball 4. So Hubacek is the first base runner for the Merchants. Brings up Logan Langben. Langben is one of the few Merchants who pulled an offer this morning. That pitch was a strike. And he was 0 for 5. Shows punt and pulls it back.
Boy, that's not a bad idea there. If you try to bunt down first base, that first baseman holding that runner on.
And the pitch. He does bunt it down the first base line. Pitcher going over, flips it to first for the out. Nice sacrifice bunt that time by Logan Langben. So he sacrificed pitcher to first, but it moved Hubacek over to second.
And if I'm a fan of Everest, I like that move. Why not?
2 down. In spite of the scoreboard saying there's only 1, there's 2 down. Brings up Nick Barnes. He's the designated hitter.
Sometimes when you're in a slump, it doesn't hurt to bunt, just to do something up there at the plate.
Barnes went 1 for 3 against the Cavaliers. And the pitch is high. 2 balls, no strikes. Runner on second with 2 outs. And the pitch. That's high for a ball. And the pitch. That's ball 4. 2 runners on. Brings up Nolan Hoppy. Runners at first and second. The runner at first is Ryan Hubacek. At second is Ryan Hubacek. At first is Nick Barnes. Hoppy did not play in the game earlier today, and he swings and fouls it back into the net. Runners take their leads. And the pitch. Strike called on the outside corner. And the pitch. Inside. One ball, 2 strikes. And the 1-2 pitch. That one's fouled away at the plate.
Catcher could not quite hold on to that one.
That's a tough job for a catcher because it does change direction immediately upon hitting the bat. You got to be either really lucky or really quick, or a combination of the two. And calls that plucky. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And so Hoppy goes down swinging, and so do the Merchants. No runs on no hits. There were no errors, and 2 were left on base. We've played an inning and a half, and still no score from Carson Park on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the
Pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Leading off, bottom of the second for the plate, finish regular. Number 10, Ty Denzer.
So Ty Denzer leads off the bottom of the second inning for the Fighting Fish.
Denzer comes in with 43 hits on the season, 29 singles, 11 doubles.
He also pulled an offer in the game against the Cavaliers, striking out 3 times, popping out to short, and drawing a walk. I knew it was getting toasty here. We're now at 89 degrees here at Carson Park. And there's a called strike. 0-2 is the count to Denzer.
Denzer does have a .422 batting average.
He'll be followed by Reagan Pino and Kyle Fritz. That pitch is just a little bit low. Nice chase pitch, though, by Nielsen. And the pitch. That's outside for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nielsen steps off the rubber. And the pitch. Chopper over toward first, fielded by the first baseman, and he makes the put out at first. That's Fritz making the 3 unassisted put out. That brings up Reagan Pino.
Pino playing third base, has 24 hits on the season, 13 singles, 8 doubles, and 1 triple. He's got a .255 batting average.
Nielsen looks in and delivers. Strike called on the outside edge. Pino went 2 for 5 in the game against the Cavaliers. He singled a couple times. Picked up 3 RBI in the process. And the pitch. That one missed outside. You know, there's a pleasant breeze blowing through here that feels really good. Let's hope it keeps up.
Well,
that pitch missed.
I'm not going to brag, because if I do, I'll get switched, but I got the best seat in the house, so I'm made by the fan.
No wonder we are feeling. You're sitting there blocking it.
Well, I can move back.
And a fly ball, foul territory. Moving over is Fritz, and he makes the catch.
Great job of Fritz making sure he didn't run into that fence down there.
Or check it, that.
I'm sorry, Fritz was the batter. Great job by the
No,
Everest
Pino
first baseman.
was the batter. McGuire made the catch.
Thank you, Rick.
Somebody forgot to flip his tablet.
That's on me.
We could say it's something you should have been doing.
Oh, I get that one.
Boy, did that draw some groans up here.
Did they roll all the way back?
And the strike is called. 1-1 is the count to Kyle Fritz, who's now the batter. And that pitch is high and away for a ball. 2 balls and a strike.
Fritz comes in with 50 hits on the season, 38 singles, 11 doubles. And 1 triple.
He picked up a single and a double last night against the Cavs. As he went 2 for 3. 3 balls and a strike. Inside ball 4. That's something else he did against the Cavs. He drew a couple of walks, and so he just got the first walk of the game for the Fighting Fish. It's the first one given up by Nielsen. Brings up Carter Elliott, the designated hitter.
Elliott comes in with 24 hits, 16 singles, 6 doubles, and 2 triples.
He did not play against the Cavaliers. Fritz takes his lead at first, and the pitch gets away from the catcher Langben, and down to second goes Fritz.
And the one thing that Everest has going for him is there's 2 outs.
1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch. Line shot, that's going to go out into right field, rounding third, and coming home is Fritz. Throw to the plate, not going to be in time. So Fritz scores. As Elliott singles to right. Picks up an RBI. So the Fighting Fish go on top, 1-0. Trevor Gutting comes to the plate.
Gutting has 39 hits on the season, 33 singles and 6 doubles.
Add another double to that and add another single to that because he had both of those against Cavaliers last night. Check swing outside for a ball. And the pitch. That's a strike called. And that pitch missed. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 down. Runner at first, run in. We're in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And the pitch. Fouled away on the right side. Two balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch swung on a miss for strike 3. So that'll do it for the Fighting Fish in the bottom of the 2nd inning. But they do pick up 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 left on base. We play 2, and it's the River Falls Fighting Fish 1 and the Everest Merchants 0 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Back here at Carson Park as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Hey, want to let you know that graciously supplied food for the broadcast crew of NLWN-TV is courtesy of the R Tree Service. And if you need their services, call Jim or Ben at 715-226-8037 for your tree service needs. No job too small. Chop local. R Tree Service. And that's 715-226-8037. Leading off the 3rd inning for the Everest Merchants is the number 9 hitter, Coleman Schilling. Schilling went 1 for 4 against the Cavaliers. He singled and scored a run. Two balls and a strike to Coleman Schilling. There's the wind and the 2-1 pitch. That's high for a ball, 3-1.
Well, you know, if you're Everest, I think you got a good game plan here. Be patient, get your runners on if you can, and just pick your spots.
And by being patient, you're also making Charlie Griffin throw a lot of pitches. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, shallow right field. Right fielder Denzer coming in. He makes the catch. Takes us back to the top of the order. Wade Farmer steps up.
So we're going to find out right now if Farmer knows how to milk the cows or not.
Okay.
And you know Everest hopes that he knows how to.
In other words, if he's been watching long enough to get the cream with the milk here.
Correct.
Pitch is outside for a ball. He flew out to left field his last time up. Here's the wind and the 1-0 pitch. That's inside for ball 2. Charlie Griffin playing on the corners. And the pitch. That's high for ball 3. Three and 0 is the count. And the pitch to Farmer, and it's outside ball 4. That's the third walk given up by Charlie Griffin so far in this game. That'll bring up Roman McGuire. McGuire flew out to center field his last time up. And the pitch. Fly ball, foul territory. Looks like it's out of play, and it is. Off the bleachers.
You know, I was curious to see where this Fighting Fish third baseman would play with the runner on first, and my question just got answered. He's playing about 5 steps behind third base. Not expecting the bunt at all.
And the pitch swung on a missed. No balls, 2 strikes.
McGuire was way ahead of that one. He was fooled.
And the pitch, that's high. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Short chopper down the first base line, and it's foul.
It looks like Everest is just content to play station-to-station baseball. No stealing, no bunting. Just see what the hitters can do.
And the pitch. Ground ball over to second. Looks to second. Can't make a play there, but throws it over to first for the out. So it did move the runner over. That'll bring up Brandon Kranz with 2 down. Runner on second. Wade Farmer on second. And there's a foul ball on the left side. Kranz flew out to center field his last time up. And that pitch is outside for a ball. And the pitch by Griffin, ground ball over to second, gets past the second baseman out into right field. Rounding third, coming in to score is Wade Farmer, so it's an RBI single for Brandon Kranz, and we're tied. And he came up hobbling, Farmer did, when he scored. Worked his way down to the dugout, so we can't see what they're doing with him down there. And the first pitch is a called strike to Josh Nielsen. He's the pitcher. No balls, 1 strike. Nielsen flew out to center field his last time up.
Willard.
And a fly ball out into center field. Heading back is Dietrich. And that's the second time that Nielsen's flown out to center field. And that'll do it for the Merchants. But they do pick up 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 left on base. We have played 2.5, and we're all tied at 1 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2. Coming up on Friday, August 25th, the Colfax Vikings will travel to Eleva-Strum High School to take on the Eleva-Strum Cardinals. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 25th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Back here at Carson Park, the good news is Wade Farmer is heading back out to center field. He's got a little bit of a limp going on as he walks out there, but he doesn't look too much worse for wear.
We're getting an injury report as we speak from the Everest dugout. I'll keep you updated on that.
Looks to me like he's probably going to be just fine. Maybe just twisted his knee.
Yeah, I don't think if there was anything seriously wrong, they would risk any further damage to him.
No, I'm quite sure that's the case. So leading off for the Fighting Fish in the bottom of the 3rd inning is Brian Giebel. Giebel singled to center field his last time up. And he stole second, and that's as far as he got.
Giebel comes in with a .346 batting average.
And the pitch. It's outside for a ball. And that's ball 4. So Giebel draws the walk. That'll bring up Trey Larson, who went down looking his first time up.
Trey Larson came into the tournament batting .308.
And the pitch, that's a strike right down the middle of Water Street. Here's the pitch. That's outside for a ball.
So if you're Everest, you want to keep the base runners off, but you don't want to throw anything too good at these guys.
One ball, one strike to Trey Larson. And a pop-up foul on a play on the right side.
You know, I talked to Coach Bemnister from the Eau Claire Cavs in between games, and he said the best way to approach the fighting fish as a pitcher is to hit your spots.
That's actually pretty good advice anytime when you're on the mound. One ball, two strikes, throw over to first. Farmer back in.
I'm looking at the batting averages, and the fighting fish only have 2 guys batting under 300.
And the pitch. Swung on and missed. So, Trey Larson goes down swinging. That's his second strikeout of the day. Third strikeout for Nielsen. Brings up Spencer Dietrich, who popped short his last time up. And there's a strike called on the outside corner.
Dietrich came into the tournament batting .404.
Like we said, hit a pair of home runs against the Cavaliers. And the pitch. That's low. And here's the pitch. Fly ball out into center field. Drifting back by the warning track is Farmer, and he makes the catch.
Dietrich just got under that one a little too much.
So 2 down. Runner on first in Gibo. And it brings up Lucas Ludke, the catcher.
Ludke coming in, batting .469.
And Ludke flew out to left field last time up. And the pitch is a called strike on the outside corner.
That was a beautiful curveball. Came right in there at the last minute.
No balls and a strike. Go over to first. Gibo back in. Runner goes, swung on and fouled back. Gibo goes diving into second. Got his uniform nice and dirty out of that, but hand goes, now he feels like he played. I don't think he was doubting that, to be honest with you. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. To Lucas Ludke. And the pitch. Line shot out into center field for a base hit. Ludke checks in at first, and Gibo checks in at second. Ty Denzer grounded to first his last time up.
Denzer came into the tournament batting .422.
Fly ball out into center field. Farmer coming in. He makes the catch for the third out. And it's good to see Farmer moving as well as he is out there. Turns out that what appeared to be an injury last inning was his legs cramping up, and that's part of the heat today. And they're making sure he's getting plenty of fluids between. They're going to keep an eye on him, but right now he's still playing in the game. So we've completed an inning and a half, or 2.5, I should say, and it's tied at 1 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN. Actually, we've completed 3 on NLWN-TV.
Royal Credit Union's low rates and flexible terms on auto loans can help keep your payments low. Get a great rate on your next car or truck purchase, or refinance an existing vehicle with an auto loan from Royal Credit Union. Royal also offers loans for buying or refinancing boats, UTVs, and other vehicles. Royal Credit Union wants to help keep your payments low. Check rates and apply for a Royal Credit Union vehicle loan online at rcu.org/autorate. Subject to credit approval.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2. Coming up on Friday, August 25th, the Colfax Vikings will travel to Eleva-Strum High School to take on the Eleva-Strum Cardinals. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 25th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Leading off the top of the 4th inning for the Everest Merchants is Ryan Hubacek. He walked his last plate appearance. And the pitch is outside for a ball. No, it was a called strike. But I got Dan over here. He goes, nope. Ground ball right back up the middle, and Hubacek is on first.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky up here to have Ann as a spotter and Dan as a spotter. They help us out quite a bit on the bullpen action and on the strike zone calls. Thanks for the help, you guys.
Logan Langbens is coming to the plate. He had a sacrifice bunt his last time up. Moved the runner over to second. And the pitch is a called strike.
He didn't offer on that one.
No, he didn't, and the Fish are expecting him to. Third baseman Pino is playing in. That pitch missed low. 1 ball and 1 strike. And so he got hit by the pitch. So runners at first and second. Nick Barnes at the plate. He walked his last appearance. That's a foul back.
He wanted that one back. I just saw his body language. He's disappointed in himself that he didn't get that bunt down. And it looked like he tried to push that bunt towards first base, because if you bunt it towards first base, it's much easier for that runner to advance to third on the throw.
And he bunts it down the first base line, and first baseman turns and throws it over to the second baseman covering. But the sacrifice is completed.
Had he not bobbled that ball, he might have had a play at third base.
And that's probably why he bobbled. He wanted it so bad, he tried to make the play without having full control of the ball. But the runners move over. There's runners at second and third now with 1 out. Pitch is high to Nolan Hoppy. He struck out his first time up. And a fly ball out in center field. This should score a run. Dropping back is Dietrich. He makes the catch, and runner comes in. Throw to third. Jeez. It's not going to be in time. They throw it back to the fence, but it's backed up by the pitcher. So a sacrifice fly for Nolan Hoppy.
So if you're Everest, the game plan is working well for you so far. Bunt the ball, play smart ball, and sacrifice them home when they get on third.
So the Everest Merchants take a 2-1 lead. And the pitch. That's high. Remember, the winner of this game goes to the Final Four. The score doesn't matter. It's just the winner goes on. Pitch is a little bit high again. Two balls, no strikes, one out. Runner on third. Fly ball out into center field. This should score a run. Now there's 3 outs. The scoreboard was wrong. It said one out, and I should have looked at my score sheet. I would have known. But the Everest Merchants pick up a run on 1 hit. There were no errors, and 1 was left on base. So we've played 3.5, and it's the Merchants 2 and the Fighting Fish 1 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
My character, Shazam, knows all about growing up in a family full of teenage superheroes. They're bold.
Where's everyone going?
To fight crime?
Okay. Adventurous. Shazam! There's never a dull moment. And no matter what happens, they'll always have your back. All they need is a place to grow and be themselves. And the best part is, you don't have to be a superhero to adopt a teen. Learn more about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward.
So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And the Everest Merchants are leading the River Falls Fighting Fish 2-1.
So they're getting out hit 3-2, but it doesn't matter. The scoreboard is what matters for the runs.
Leading off the bottom half of the inning is Reagan Pino. He fouled out to the first baseman his last time up. There's a called strike. Counts even at 1-1. And the pitch. Fly ball, foul territory, possibly playable, and he couldn't quite get there. He's worried about the fence, and he's mad at himself for that one. Or he's mad at the fence for being there. One of the two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's the pitch. Check swing, that's a strike. So Pino goes down on strikes. That's going to bring up Kyle Fritz. He walked in his last appearance. One of 2 walks given up so far by Nielsen.
Fritz comes into the tournament batting .407 with an on-base percentage of .513.
It means he's getting on base over half the times he comes up. Well, he's already done that once today in this game. And a ground ball over to first, and they got him. Brings up Carter Elliott. Elliott singled and drove in a run. In his last appearance, drove in the only run that the Fish have so far. And the pitch. That missed for a ball. And that's outside for a ball. Counts 1-1. Evidently that first pitch was a strike. And here's the pitch. Fouled away, strike 2. Nielsen wiping the sweat off his brow. It's a toasty one out there. Pitchers don't have to worry about getting loose so much as just staying hydrated and staying lucid. Here's the pitch. Popped into foul territory, and they can't get there. 1-2. 2 down. This is Carter Elliott at the plate. Nobody on. And the pitch. That one's fouled back. One ball, 2 strikes. Two down. And a 1-2 pitch. Fly ball out into right field. Kubicek moves over, makes the catch for the 3rd out. So for the Fighting Fish, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. They went down in order, and we have completed 4, and it's the Everest Merchants 2, and the Fighting Fish 1 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us, on the roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Visit either of Eau Claire's 2 locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores on Highway 93 or North Claremont Avenue.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement.
Okay, we're back here at Carson Park. As we're going to head into the 5th inning, this is about the time ESPN would be flashing upset alert. As the Everest Merchants have a 2-1 lead over the River Falls Fighting Fish. Everest was the lowest seed in the pool. Fighting Fish were the top seed in the pool. Kind of what Ben and I were talking about a little bit earlier in one of the earlier games, where there isn't much of a difference between any of these teams. The 12 teams that made the state pool play, these are the top 12 teams in the state, and there isn't a whole lot of difference between any of them. So leading off the top half of the inning, top of the order for the Merchants, Wade Farmer. Swing and a miss for strike one. Farmer had a little bit of leg cramping trouble, but he seems to be okay now. Here's the wind and the 0-1 pitch. That was slow for ball two. And the pitch. And that's low for ball three. 3 balls. No strike, or 2 balls and 1 strike. Evidently one of those was a called strike. That pitch is inside, so it's now 3-1. Home plate umpire makes a strike call right out in front of his body, and it's really hard to see. And he doesn't say it very loudly either. And that pitch is outside, ball 4. So Hoppy draws a walk. It's the second walk he's drawn today. That's the 4th walk given up by Charlie Griffin. And they're going to have a little discussion at the mound about it.
First baseman Roman McGuire.
So Roman McGuire steps up to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Flew out to center field and grounded to second. And the first pitch was a ball.
And Fighting Fish third baseman Pino thinks he's going to bunt. He's playing at the grass.
Well, with nobody out, that's a pretty good guess. And there's a strike called on the outside third of the plate. One ball, 1 strike. He does square to bunt, and it goes foul.
For some reason, Everest really likes to bunt that ball down that first base line.
Well, they're bunters. You know, they play small ball, and we noticed that earlier, and that makes them a lot of fun to watch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch, it's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. That just missed low. Three balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, runner on first. Roman McGuire at the plate. Pop up in the infield, drifting out in shallow outfield is Larson, and he makes the catch. One down, Brandon Kranz comes to the plate. He's 1 for 2 in an RBI single his last time up. He also flew out to center field. Line shot down past the first baseman, and he's going to be safe at first. And I'm pretty sure they're going to give him a hit on that. First baseman was diving for the ball. In fact, it was a good play by the first baseman to keep that one from going down into the corner, because they'd still be running. And they did give him a hit.
Yeah, good job to the Everest first baseman there to keep that ball in the infield.
Farmer goes to second. Kranz on first. Josh Nielsen, the pitcher, comes up. He flew out to center field both times that he's been up. Swing and a miss for strike one.
And if I didn't know any better, I would think this is a Little League team because they put their pitcher batting in the fourth spot, cleanup spot.
At this level, sometimes your best athlete is your pitcher, and you want his stick in the lineup as well. Line shot foul down the third base line. That one was close to being extra bases. Just a couple feet on the left side of the line. No balls, 2 strikes to Josh Nielsen. And the pitch. That just missed. That's an awfully close one to be watching. It was a little bit low, but that would have been a pretty easy one for an umpire to make a decision that would ring you up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Charlie Griffin, and he got him. So 2 down. Runners at first and second, and it's going to bring up Ryan Hubacek.
That takes a little more pressure off the fish with having 2 outs now.
Griffin delivers. Swing and a miss. Runner goes to third. And they got him at third. Nicely placed throw because he was able to just move the glove an inch or two. And they got the runner at third as Farmer was trying to steal, and he was caught stealing at third base for the third out of the inning. So, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We have played 4.5. And it's the Everest Merchants 2 and the Fighting Fish 1 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Mom's
Wait a minute, they
Restaurant
might
and Pub
be
in
using a
Colfax
coach's
is just what you
challenge
need
here.
when you have
Come
that craving
back.
for a home-cooked meal the way
Please.
Mom used to make.
Thank you. I think they may be using a coach's challenge here, which is why the runner is standing on the bag.
And you do get 1 coach's challenge per game.
And so let's see what they decide. I thought he was out, to be honest with you. I thought the tag got him as he was sliding in.
And I'm on the opposite side of the coin.
You thought
he slid under it.
Got under it. And I can understand that argument. And they're saying he's out.
Okay.
So the coach's challenge says that it was called just the way we said. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. And we have played 4.5. And it's the Merchants 2, Fighting Fish 1 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Dan says that if that was him out there, he'd have been kicking dirt. He'd got himself ejected for that one.
Well, I think it helps when you have the coach's challenge because you remain calm, use your challenge, and you see what happens. But you're right. If you don't have a coach's challenge, then you got to do the Billy Martin thing.
And I don't think if you knew it, Ben, but that was Ann's mother's favorite baseball personality was Billy Martin because he argued so well. She loved to watch. She'd go to a fight and a baseball game would break out.
Well said there, Rick.
All right, we're into the bottom of the 5th inning. Fighting Fish leading off is Trevor Gutting. And Gutting looking for a bunt single, possibly offered and didn't make contact, but it's a strike. Gutting struck out his first time up. After Gutting, we'll go back to the top of the order for the Fish. Line shot out into left center field, falls in for a base hit, and Gutting is on. So Brian Giebel is at the plate. He's singled in his only official at-bat. He also drew a walk, so he's been on twice. And that pitch missed. One ball, no strikes. And the pitch. And there's a called strike on the outside edge. 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner on first. That's Gutting on first. Nielsen looks over there. Throw over to first, and Gutting gets back. Gutting takes his lead. And the pitch. That's a called strike on the inside edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brian Giebel. Nielsen looks and delivers. Fly ball out into left field, coming in hard as Schilling, and he makes the catch.
Should mention there is action in the Everest Merchants bullpen. Number 55, Thomas Fish is down there throwing.
That's going to bring up Trey Larson. He struck out twice. And the first pitch is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Larson struck out looking and struck out swinging. Pop foul out of play.
And now we see the kids running after the balls. Boy, is that a sight to see.
It's part of the joy of baseball. Of town ball, as they call it. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner at first. Nielsen looks in and delivers. Strike called. Larson thought it was inside, moved his body like it was inside, and it got the black of the plate. 1-2 is the count. And the pitch. Ground ball over to short. Flip to second for 1. Throw to first, and not going to be in time. So Larson grounds into a fielder's choice. 6-4. And Giebel is out at second. Or check that. That's Gutting is out at second.
So Everest does the right thing. They get the lead runner and are now 2 outs.
Spencer Dietrich. A very dangerous bat for the Fighting Fish. Flew out to deep center field last time up. And there's a strike called on the outside corner.
Yeah, if you're not careful with this guy, he'll hit a home run, and the next thing you know, he's going to be carrying that big fish around in the dugout.
Throw back over to first. Larson gets back.
Every team has a tradition. If you hit a home run, usually you wear a hat of some sort. And the Fighting Fish, if you hit a home run with them, you get to carry the big fish around the dugout.
Well, he got to carry it twice yesterday. Throw over to first, and getting back safely is Larson. Larson definitely has Nielsen's attention.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. The batter has his attention, and so does the runner on first.
And the throw to the plate, swing and a miss. He was thinking about sending that one for a ride.
Credit to Nielsen there. He really looks relaxed out there. His concentration looks real good.
He looks in for the sign. And the pitch, runner goes and fouled back into the screen. So Larson has to make the return trip back to first base.
And it looked to me like that base runner would have been safe at second had the batter not swung, but that was a strike, so you got to swing at that.
So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Spencer Diedrich at the plate. Nielsen shakes off a sign, then takes a sign. And the pitch. Swung and fouled away. Count holds it 0-2. Nielsen throws over to first stand. Getting back in there is Trey Larson. Nielsen looking in and delivers. Runner goes. It's outside for a ball. Runner around second because it went back to the backstop. Throw to third, and they got him. They got him at third. So he gets credit for a stolen base. And then he was out 2-5 at third. So, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base, and we've played 5 innings, and it's the Merchants 2 and the Fighting Fish 1 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
to learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
So we're in the top of the 6th inning. And up steps Ryan Hubacek. He singled his last time up, scored a run. And the first pitch is a swing and a miss for strike one.
Just got to get this in real quick. There was some bullpen action in the last half inning for the Everest Merchants. Number 16, Matt Witter, was down there in the bullpen warming up. And to your point earlier, Rick, he was a lefty. The other guy was a righty. So that's why Fish was warming up earlier, and then now we saw Witter. Fish is the right-hander, and Witter is the left-hander for Everest.
And the pitch. That one's low for a ball. Two balls and one strike. Nobody out. Here's the wind and the 2-1 pitch. That's high for ball 3.
If you're Everest, just keep being patient at the plate, make them throw a strike. You're up by 1 run. You know, that's the game plan.
Ryan Hubacek at the plate and the pitch. Ground ball over to third, picked up there by Pino, throw over, and it got away. It's going to be an error on the throw.
And I'm not sure if River Falls is feeling the pressure or what, but he airmailed that one right over the first baseman's head. He had plenty of time. Not sure what happened there.
So with a runner on first and nobody out, that brings up Logan Langbens. Logan Langbin. He squares to bunt, sends it down the first baseline, being chased by the pitcher, tossed to first for 1. But he moved the runner over.
And that's a great bunt. He bunted about halfway down the first baseline. Absolutely no chance to get the runner at second. So if you're Everest, you're just going to keep playing small ball, and you're going to make River Falls make the plays.
Runner at second, 1 out, and that brings up Nick Barnes. Barnes did a sacrifice bunt his last time up. Long fly ball out into right center field. It's going to bounce and get out to the warning track. Runner rounds third. He's coming in to score. And Nick Barnes with a double.
And the small ball keeps working for Everest as they tack on another run. They bunted, they moved the runner over to second. And just a great piece of hitting there by Everest.
Puts Everest on top, 3-1. Charlie Griffin winds and fires. And he missed for a ball.
And the hit column is even. Everest has 4 hits and the Fish have 4 hits.
But the Everest Merchants have timed their 4. And there's a called strike to Nolan Hoppy. He also did a sacrifice bunt his last time up. As Ben said, small ball, small ball, small ball. And ground ball over to third. Scoop by Pino, throw to second. They got the runner in a rundown, and they make the tag.
I think he went to third on his own. I was looking down there, and it appeared the coach was telling him to hold up at second. But hey, you know what? If you're Everest, you're up by 2 runs. You're playing the #1 team in the state. Why not make something happen?
So Hoppy gets a fielder's choice. And the first pitch is a ball. And a long fly ball out into center field, heading back, and he can't make the play. Dietrich And runner rounds third is coming in to score. And checking in at second with a double is Coleman Schilling.
And you can hear the Everest dugout erupt. This is what they've been waiting for all game long. Pick your spots, take a walk, hit the ball, be picky at the plate. And if you look at the scoreboard, yes, that is correct. Everest is in front. That is not an optical illusion.
4-1, and that pitch is inside for a ball. Top of the order, Wade Farmer. Farmer's walked twice. And the pitch called strike. One ball, one strike. 2 down. Runner on second. And it's a strike called. One ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Fly ball, foul territory, and it's going to be out of play. Just barely.
Just over the fence.
So the count remains 1-2.
And 2 kids are running down there, and they want that token pretty bad.
Here's the pitch, and it's fouled back. Couldn't quite hang on to it that time by gutting. So the count holds at 1-2. And the pitch is high for a ball.
And I've said it over and over and over, and I'll say it again. If you're Everest, you're doing absolutely the right thing. Be very selective up there at the plate.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Runner on second. Line shot out in left center field. Is going to fall in for a hit. Another run's going to round third and come in and score. And checking in at third is second is Wade Farmer.
And boy, was that a timely hit by Farmer. And if you're Everest, boy, you're happy right now. And
we're going to get a call to the mound. And we are getting a change, so we'll give you information on all that after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Jason, let's go see your room.
How is it? Is it good?
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Back here at Carson Park and leading off with the new pitcher on the mound. The new pitcher is Roman Elliott, or Carter Elliott. I knew I'd have the first name in there somewhere. First pitch gets fouled back for strike one.
Elliott has appeared in 4 games. He's played in 8 innings. He has 2 wins, 0 losses, and 2 saves.
The batter is Roman McGuire. I knew I saw a Roman there somewhere. 2 down, runner on second. Elliott looking in. And the pitch. Strike called.
Elliott has a very respectable 2.423 ERA. And he has a very respectable 1.731 whip.
And the pitch. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. And McGuire goes down looking. So that'll do it, but not before a bunch of damage was done by the Everest Merchants as they pick up 3 runs on, 3 hits. There was 1 error and 1 was left on base. So we've played 5.5, and it's the Everest Merchants 5 and the Fighting Fish 1 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Ready for a better way to bank? Switch to Royal Credit Union. Royal Credit Union is a financial co-op, not a corporation, so we return earnings to our members. That means you get low or no fees for account services and better rates on deposits and loans. You'll also have all the digital tools you need at your fingertips, so managing your account is easy. Royal is ready to help you discover the credit union difference. Switch to Royal Credit Union today at rcu.org/difference. Insured by NCUA.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Bottom of the 6th inning, and Spencer Dietrich leads things off for the River Falls Fighting Fish as they're trailing the Everest Merchants 5-1. Winner goes on to the Final 4. And the first pitch to Dietrich is high for a ball.
And if you're Everest, you want to keep your foot on the gas pedal because River Falls can score runs, and they can score them in a hurry.
1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch. And that one got Dietrich. So it's hit by pitch. That's going to bring up Lucas Lutke, who's 1 for 2. Speaking of punching their ticket to the Final 4, down in Osseo, the Osseo Merchants just did that by defeating the Brill Millers 12-0.
Congratulations to the Osseo Merchants.
It's nice to see a CRBL team in the Final 4. We have a chance for one more of them later today right here. Fly ball out into right field. Moving over is Hubacek, and he corrals it. 1 down. Dietrich on first, and Ty Denzer. One down, runner on first. Denzer at the plate, he's 0 for 2. And that's a strike called. No balls and a strike. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike two.
Boy, I tell you what, if Everest could get another out, that'd be huge.
The runner goes, swing and a miss, strike three, and he's safe at second. So Dietrich gets a stolen base, and Denzer is out swinging.
And if you're Everest, you're thinking we got 2 outs, make the play at first base, and we're out of the inning.
Reagan Pino, 0 for 2, called out to first, and struck out swinging. Nielsen looks in, now checks over at second, and delivers. That one missed for a ball. There had been some work going on down in the Everest bullpen, but I don't see anybody down there now. Josh Nielsen at the belt. And he delivers. Swing and a miss, strike one. One ball, one strike.
If I'm a betting man, I'm thinking Everest is going to let Nielsen go as long as he wants.
I don't even think you're going to get very good odds on that bet. One ball, one strike, and that pitch is outside. Ball two.
I mean, you're up 5-1. You got a runner on second. You got 2 outs. Even if the Fish do score a run, it's not that big of a deal.
And it's a foul ball back into the net. You go on the camera. Dan? Two balls, two strikes. And the pitch. That's high for a ball. Now it's 2-2. Two balls, two strikes, two down. Runner at second. That's Dietrich at second, and it's fouled back into the screen. Pino hanging tough. Here's the wind of the pitch. Ground ball down the third base side, foul. So the count holds at 2-2 to Reagan Pino. And the 2-2 pitch. Fly ball out in the shallow right field. That falls in. Runner rounds third. He's coming into the plate. Throw to second, and the catcher can't quite handle the ball, transferring it to his throwing hand. He had a shot at a play at second, but Reagan's going to get credit for a single and went to second on the play, and in to score is Dietrich. Reagan gets an RBI, making the score 5-3 or 5-2. As Kyle Fritz comes to the plate. Still 2 down, runner on second. There's Reagan Pino over there at second. And the first pitch is a called strike. And a check swing foul on the third base side. We are in the 7th inning, bottom of the 6th, bottom of the 6th inning. We're scheduled to have another game at 7 o'clock. Well, that's not going to be at 7 o'clock. It'll be about 25 minutes or so after this game ends. And that'll be the Tilden Tigers taking on the Spooner Cardinals. Ground ball right back to the mound. Nielsen picks it up, throws it to first, and they got him. So 1-3 on the putout. And for the Fighting Fish, they picked up 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors. 1 man left on base. And we've played 6. And it's the Everest Merchants 5 and the River Falls Fighting Fish 2 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
No, that was just last And we're back here at Carson Park as we're heading into the 7th inning. The Everest Merchants leading the River Falls Fighting Fish 5-2. To lead off for the Everest Merchants, we will see Brandon Kranz. He'll be followed by Josh Nielsen and Ryan Hubacek. As we said, we have another ball game coming up for you after this one's done, about 25 minutes afterwards. Be sure to join us. Just enough time between games for you to go get your favorite beverages while we're scrambling to get lineups. And it's crazy up here between games. And the first pitch is a called strike to Brandon Kranz. And that one is called a ball. Here's the wind and the pitch. That's high for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. Inside, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. A hitter's pitch coming up now for Brandon Kranz, who is 2 for 3 today. Couple of singles and an RBI. Hits a high pop-up out into right field. Right fielder coming in, and he made the catch. Pretty darn good play by Danzer, hustling in, diving for the ball. So 1 down. Josh Nielsen coming to the plate. Nielsen's 0 for 3. Flew out to center field and struck out. I think I've seen it all, Ann and Dan. Ben low crawling to get back to his spot over here as he was filling in on the camera for Dan.
I'm on the team. I want back in.
You're back in, Ben. Here's the pitch. It's inside for ball. 2 balls, no strikes to Josh Nielsen. Here's the wind of the pitch. Line shot out into left field, coming in hard and making the catch. Out there was Gibo. And that's going to bring up Ryan Hubacek. Hubacek is 1 for 2. Scored a couple runs. Single, got on an error. Also drew a walk. Ground ball over to short. Fling to first, and it's in time. So for the Everest Merchants in the top of the 7th, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've reached the 7th inning stretch, and the score, the Merchants 5 and the Fighting Fish 2 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How is it? Is it good?
So we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. And leading off for the Fighting Fish, Carter Elliott, Trevor Gutting, and then back to the top of the order with Brian Gibo.
And you'll never guess in a million years who just came back out to pitch for Everest. Your man, Nielsen. He's not going nowhere. They're going to ride him as long as they can.
Well, he's pitched well today. Carter Elliott is 1 for 2, singled and flew out to right field. And a foul ball.
I'm reminded of that saying, don't change horses in midstream. This guy brought you to the dance. Dance with him.
No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. Fly ball out into center field. Farmer drifts back and makes the catch.
No signs of cramping there by Farmer. He looked good on that one. Looked real smooth on that play.
I've noticed that Farmer does play a little deeper center field than other center fielders that we've seen in this tournament. And with a team like River Falls, that's probably a good idea because they have a lot of power. Trevor Gutting, 1 for 2, singled and struck out. Ground ball over to first. Scooped up there by McGuire, and he flips over to Nielsen at first.
Back to your point earlier, Rick, I call it no doubles defense. You're up by 3 runs. Just give up a single. There's no reason to have the ball hit over your head, and then the guy ends up with a double or a triple.
But with the power, I agree with you, and with the power that the Fighting Fish have, you're probably going to be in the right spot to catch what are their routine fly balls. And Brian Gibel comes to the plate. He's 1 for 2.
And I'm quite sure Everest either scouted the fish or they talked to Coach Bedminster for the Cavs and got the scouting report.
Here's the pitch. And it was high for a ball. Giebel is 1 for 2. He singled and flew out to left field. He also drew a walk. One ball, no strikes, and the pitch. Fly ball out into left center field. Falls in for a base hit. He's rounding first, going to second, and they get the ball in. So Giebel doubles to left center field.
And really, there wasn't much Everest could do on that play. He just hit it between the 2 outfielders. And when that happens, you just have to grab the ball and hustle and get the ball in as quickly as you can.
And we'll have a little conference on the mound with Nielsen.
And again, there's a runner on second, so they're probably talking about the signals that the catcher give the pitcher because they don't want the runner on second to tip off the batter to tell him what the signals are for the pitches. Because that would be like playing blackjack and knowing what the cards were before they were dealt.
So manager Tom Fish had his say out on the mound, and he heads back to the dugout. 2 down. And the batter is Trey Larson. Grounded into a fielder's choice last time up. Swing and a miss for a strike.
And credit to Nielsen, he's battling out there. He gives up a hit. He takes a deep breath and he throws a strike there.
And the pitch. That missed outside. Hey, Ben. Two balls and a strike, or 1 ball and 1 strike. Fly ball out into right field, moving over and making a leaping catch is Hubacek. So, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. And we have played 7. And we're going to head to the 8th with the Everest Merchants leading the Fighting Fish 5-2 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2. Coming up on Friday, August 25th, the Colfax Vikings will travel to Eliva-Strum High School to take on the Eliva-Strum Cardinals. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 25th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay. You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in. Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Leading off the top of the 8th inning for the Everest Merchants is Logan Langbens. Langbens has a couple of sacrifice bunts, and then he was hit by the pitch, so he has no official at-bats yet. First pitch is a called strike. And a foul ball off on the right side.
Shout out to the late, great Billy Noss. That foul ball reminds me of you. Rest in peace, buddy.
And the pitch is outside for a ball. One ball, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Ooh, that almost got him. Inside, 2-2.
Boy, and I'll tell you what, I'm looking at that Everest, and they are really sensing this.
Fly ball out into right field, heading back and not able to get it. Bounces off the fence, and Langman heads into second base.
And one thing I'll tell you about Everest, they are a classy ball team because you don't hear any chirping out of those guys. They're clapping, they're positive, and everything is above board with that organization. That's off to Everest. What a team.
Nick Barnes coming to the plate. He doubled in his only official at-bat. He's also walked and laid down a sacrifice bunt. Here's the pitch. Long fly ball, right side, out of play. In the fan, almost at the upper deck of the fan deck in foul territory.
Tell me you didn't park on there, man.
I did hear a thump.
I think it was the white van. I think you're okay, Ann.
Oh, yeah, our car's over this way. It's Dan's car that's out there.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan.
Dan, did you drive the car or the truck today?
I know.
Yeah, well. Fly ball out into left field. Moving over is Schilling, and he's under. He makes a catch. Check that. That wasn't Schilling. That was Giebel. One out, runner on second, and the pitch. Popped into foul territory, and it landed between the benches in the bullpen area. So no balls and a strike. Here's the pitch, and it's high for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
And this Everest team does not chase bad pitches. I'll tell you that right now.
Nicely disciplined. And the pitch. That was inside. It got him. And Langman was kind of ticked off that it got him because he was stealing third on the pitch, and he has to go back to second.
And he got a very good jump. I think he would have been in there standing up safe.
So runners at first and second. Coleman Schilling steps to the plate. Schilling doubled his last time up. 1 out. And the pitch. That's high for a ball.
And the Fighting Fish defensively are not expecting a bunt. Everybody is playing at normal depth.
Elliott looking in. And he delivers. That's a strike called on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a pitch. Foul ball off to the left side, and a piece of kindling is going to go into the kindling pile.
And you know me, Rick, the kid that I am, after the game, I'm going down there and see if I can get that broken bat for a souvenir after I get your lineup card. Because I know the drill by now, bud.
So Schilling comes back out with a new piece of wood. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. 2 runners on. And the pitch. Foul back off the facade of the grandstand.
And that is a great piece of hitting there. He didn't know if it was going to be a called strike. He just stuck his bat out, fouled it off, and he lives to fight another day.
1-2, still the count. And the pitch. That's high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners take their leads, and the ball is fouled back. Count remains 2-2. Schilling at the plate. Elliott delivers. It's outside, ball 3.
Full count here. What are you going to throw him? A fastball so you don't walk him? Or are you going to go with a curveball?
Well, I learned not to pre-guess this because I'm wrong every time.
I'm not even going to guess myself.
Here's the pitch. He threw him the fastball and got him swinging. Next back to the top of the order, Wade Farmer, who doubled his last time up. It was an RBI double to center field.
And boy, if you're Everest, you really want that runner on second to score. That extra run would be real nice.
Here's the pitch. Strike called. Big sweeper. Scoreboard a little behind on the outs.
Caught up now. And the pitcher's going to talk to the umpire now. Not sure what that was about, but they're both smiling.
No balls and a strike. Fly ball out into right field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. It's going to make its way out to the warning track. 1 run is in. They're going to hold the runner at third. So Langbens comes in to score. And Hoppy is at third as Farmer singles to right field.
And I'll tell you what, whatever Everest had for breakfast or lunch, I want some of that because they're playing very good ball right now.
That makes the score 6-2. Everest on top of the Fighting Fish. Pitch is high for a ball. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. One ball, 1 strike. 2 down. And the pitch. That's high and away. Ball 2. Runners on the corners for the Merchants with 2 down. And the pitch. And that's a called strike on the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 away. Foul ball just over the top of the press box.
And I'm looking at these Everest hitters, and they're disciplined. They're swinging at good pitches only.
Elliott delivers. And strike 3 called. So McGuire goes down looking. But the Everest Merchants pick up a run on 2 hits. There were no errors, and 2 were left on base. We have played 7.5, and it's the Everest Merchants 6 and the River Falls Fighting Fish 2 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
And we're back here at Carson Park going into the bottom of the 8th inning. River Falls Fighting Fish trailing the Everest Merchants by a score of 6-2. Leading off for the Fighting Fish, Spencer Dietrich. Then Lucas Lutke and Ty Dancer, the middle of the order pretty much for the Fighting Fish. And the pitch. That's a strike called.
And I got to give a quick update on a cracked bat. We sent our assistant up here in the booth down to the Everest dugout, and he wrote a note and handed it to our assistant. And the note said, cracked bat report. They send them back to the manufacturer and get a free replacement. Sorry, Ben, exclamation point.
Oh, darn. It's not like it was when we were youngsters, Ben, and you could just hang around and get those wooden bats. Well, these are specially manufactured, and they're not supposed to be cracking and breaking, but they do. Foul back, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. By the way, congratulations to Dan's wife, Angie Petchow, on making it to the championship round at the NBHA State Finals in Elkhorn, Wisconsin this weekend. Way to go, Angie. That's barrel racing, yes.
Congratulations, Angie.
Foul ball, count holds at 0-2.
I'm sure Dan taught you very well, Angie.
Kind of the other way around. Tell you what, Angie taught my granddaughter Addison how to do that. Now Addison's going into equestrian stuff professionally. So we blame Angie for that. Swing and a miss for strike 3 to Spencer Dietrich. Lucas Lutke coming to the plate. He's 1 for 3. Singled and then flew out twice.
And I got a quick question for you, Rick. If you're the Fighting Fish coach, what are you telling your players right now down by a couple runs here?
Just be smart. You got four runs to get back, but base hits is what does it. We have some action going on down in the Fighting Fish. Well, actually, we have action in both bullpens. 1 ball and 1 strike to Lukey. Josh Nielsen, he's gone the distance so far. Here's the pitch. And that just missed. Trying to frame it that time was Langbahn.
Update on the River Falls bullpen situation. Throwing down there in the pen is the right-hander number 22, Jackson Larson. We also have action in the Everest bullpen.
Foul ball out of play.
I'll come back with that in a minute.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Lucas Lutke. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Nielsen delivers. That missed inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch is high and away, and Lutke draws a walk. So the other one, the other person warming up, and he's done throwing now down in the Merchants bullpen, is Matt Witter. He threw against the Cavaliers earlier, finished up that game. And got the win against the Cavaliers. Here's the pitch. Strike called on the outside corner. That's Ty Denzer at the plate. He's 0 for 3. Runner at first, 1 out. Fly ball out of play on the left side. No balls, 2 strikes. And time is called. Nets might be coming out down there, because that's kind of what Denzer acted like, wanted flowing into his eyes. The 0-2 pitch. That one missed inside. Ball got past Langbahn and down to second. Heads Lutke.
And I'll tell you, one thing I learned this summer from Ann is if you're out there and those gnats are bothering you, just take some good old Noxema and you should be good to go.
That's the theory anyway. Seems to work for her. And the pitch. Fouled at the plate.
And I need to give an update on the ball shaker report. For the upcoming games, instead of getting a token to use at the souvenir stand, the ball shakers will be getting $1 for every foul ball they get. So if you're a kid or a parent, urge your kid to get a foul ball and get $1.
Yeah, Dan, that's almost as much you get paid to work these games. Here's the pitch. Fouled away on the left side. Dan shagged 3 balls from up here in the press box. He had to lean out the window for one of them.
And I think in the offseason, I'm going to ask Rick to make me a device with an extra long extension cord so I can shag balls and be on the microphone.
1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. Ty Denzer at the plate. Nielsen delivers. Pop up out into left field. Coming in and making the catch is Schilling. 2 down. It's going to bring up Reagan Pino. Reagan got an RBI single last time up, and he went to second on the play at the plate. Two outs, a runner at second. Foul ball. That's one of those screamers into the stands that they warn the fans about each time.
It's so nice to see a little kid run after that foul ball. That's music to my ears and my eyes.
Nielsen at the belt. And he delivers. Inside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 down. We still have Lutke at second. Nielsen looks. Now he delivers. Pop foul out of play on the right side.
And I should mention real quickly, both teams for the upcoming game after this one have arrived at the ballpark, and they are now taking batting practice in the 2 cages in left field.
One ball, 2 strikes. Those 2 teams are the Tilden Tigers and the Spooner Cardinals. We'll have that one for you about 25 minutes after this one concludes. And the pitch. That's outside for a ball.
And you know, I gotta say, the Tilden Tiger fans travel very well, but I also gotta say, I think they met their match because the Spooner Cardinal fans travel really well too.
They just down Highway 53 from each other.
Yep.
And the pitch. That was outside for a ball, smothered nicely by Langben.
And I'm going to tell you something right now. That catcher for Everest is doing a great job. He's getting that ball right back to that pitcher, and that pitcher doesn't have to work for nothing.
Full count to Reagan Pino. There's the payoff pitch, and it's inside, ball 4. So runners now at first and second. That's going to bring up Kyle Fritz. He's 0 for 3 or 0 for 2. Grounded out to second and grounded back to the pitcher. He also walked and scored a run. Tom Fish coming out to have a talk with his pitcher.
If you're the coach there, Rick, what are you telling that pitcher?
I have no idea. I have no idea what. Yeah, he's got 2 outs. Get the batter at the plate. Don't worry about those guys. And Kyle Fritz stepping up.
He's not buying anybody in the bullpen time because there is nobody in the bullpen.
And there's a pitch on the outside corner.
Boy, if you're Everest and you get out of this inning, that'd be a lot of momentum for you.
No balls and a strike, and the pitch is high. Counts even at 1-1. 2 down, 2 on. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Everest Merchants on top. And the pitch is outside.
I was gonna have to fire you.
2 balls and a strike, 2 down. And the pitch. Pop up in the infield, moving back is Kranz, and he makes the catch. So that'll end what the Fish had in the 8th inning. No runs on no hits. There were no errors. 2 were left on base. We've completed 8. We're going to go to the 9th with the Everest Merchants leading 6-2 over the River Falls Fighting Fish on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Are you ready to help your family get prepared for the unexpected?
Here we go!
Ladybug and Cat Noir know how important it is to be ready. Because you never know when Hawkmoth is going to strike or a disaster will hit. And you don't need miraculous powers. Just put those planning skills you already have to good use. Make a plan that will help you and your family be ready when emergencies happen. Ready Kids can help. Get started at ready.gov/kids.
My character, Shazam, knows all about growing up in a family full of teenage superheroes. They're bold.
Where's everyone going?
To fight crime?
Okay.
Adventurous. Shazam! There's never a dull moment. And no matter what happens, they'll always have your back. All they need is a place to grow and be themselves. And the best part is, you don't have to be a superhero to adopt a teen. Learn more about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward.
So we head to the 9th inning. Everest Merchants on top of the River Falls Fighting Fish. I know ESPN is probably running crawls saying upset alert. And if they're not, they ought to be.
Well, before we go any further, I got to ask you a really dumb question. Now, Coach Rick, if you're the Everest coach, what are you telling your guys?
I have no clue. I'm not a coach. I've been a coach. I've been a coach in the past. To be honest with you, I don't know, because I don't know these players. And one of the things that I give Ryan Bemnister a lot of credit for, you can't be an effective coach if you don't know your players. And I don't know these players. So
no, you're right. You got to know your players because you coach different players based on how their attitudes are. And
right. And there's a lot of baseball strategy that is determined by who you have. Here's the first pitch, and we have a new pitcher, I believe. Yes, we have a new pitcher on the mound.
Jackson Larson is on the mound now, and I'll get his stats in a minute.
First pitch was fouled away for a strike to Brandon Kranz. So Elliott went 2 1/3 innings. Here's the pitch. And that one missed low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball over to second. Throw over to first in time. Luki to Fritz. And that's in time for out number 1. So we're getting a new pitcher for the Merchants because we have a new player in there, and that's number 3, and that's Andrew Baranowski. So the first pitch was a swing and a miss. And it's high for a ball.
I can tell you this about Jackson Larson. He's pitched 47 2/3 innings coming into the tournament, and he's appeared in 12 games.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Baranowski. And strike three, so Baranowski goes down looking. 2 down. It's going to bring up Ryan Hubacek.
Jackson Larson has 3 wins and 1 loss on the year, no saves.
And the first pitch is fouled back. And a fly ball out center field. Dietrich is under it. And he caught the ball! It bounced in and out of his glove, and that's going to be an error on Dietrich.
And that'll give me a quick minute to tell you that Jackson Larson comes in with a 3.5 ERA. And he's hit 5 batters so far this year.
But that can't be blamed on Jackson Larson right there. Dietrich needs to squeeze that ball. And so safe at first is Ryan Hubacek. Logan Langbahn comes to the plate. Langbahn doubled his last time up. Pitch is outside for a ball.
Foul that one off.
Count is 1-2 with 2 down.
Boy, he took a real healthy swing on that one. You said it earlier, Rick. These Everest hitters are very disciplined.
By the way, Elliott, well, ground ball right back up the middle. That's going to go through for a base hit. This is what happens when you give a team an extra out. Langbahn singles to center field. Moves Hubacek over to second. And Nick Barnes comes to the plate. I was about to say, Elliott went 2 1/3 innings, gave up a run. It was earned on 2 hits, and he struck out 4 in his inning and a third, or 2 1/3. And it's fouled back into the screen by Barnes.
Yeah, back to your point, Rick, you can't give up 4 outs in an inning, especially at the state tournament. I mean, there's a reason Everest is here.
And the pitch. Strike called on the outside corner. Jackson Larson trying to prevent any further damage from being done. Pitch is inside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down, 2 on. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, 8, 9, and 1 hitters will be up for the Fighting Fish. Foul ball back toward the press box, just a little below us.
I tell you what, Rick, back to your point, if the Fighting Fish can get that 8 and a 9 hitter on, or at least get their lead-off batters up, we could be in for an interesting 9th inning.
And the pitch. Strike 3 called. And he doesn't like that call at all. Nick Barnes. That's the first sign of barking that we've seen from anybody. But for the Merchants, no runs on one hit. There were one error, and 2 were left on base. So we played 8.5. We're going to the bottom of the 9th with the Everest Merchants leading the River Falls Fighting Fish 6-2 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network at NLWN-TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
So here we go, into the bottom of the 9th inning. Everest Merchants are leading the River Falls Fighting Fish 6-2. Numbers 8, 9, and 1 hitters are due up.
And we're going to see Nielsen out there again.
And those 3 hitters are 4 for 8 so far. So that part of the lineup is batting .500 as a unit.
If you're Nielsen, you just got to rear back, throw strikes, and get your spots.
Josh Nielsen trying to finish it up. Here's the pitch. Fouled off out of play on the right side. Don't forget, we've got a whole nother game coming up after this one's done. It was supposed to start 22 minutes ago. It'll be about 25 minutes after this one finishes. We'll be lucky if we're only an hour behind schedule. But this has been a dandy. Pitch is low for a ball. 2 balls and a strike, or 1 ball and a strike.
Yeah, Rick, I'm definitely glad I set my alarm clock today to get up to come to work.
That was a tough alarm to get up to. And there's a strike called on the outside corner. Carter Elliott.
I just can't say enough good things about Nielsen. He's throwing a gem.
Carter Elliott re-enters, which means Jackson Larson's day on the mound is done. That's why somebody's warming up down in the bullpen just in case. And it's fouled off on the right side. Count holds at 1-2.
And there'll be a pause in the action. We need new baseballs, and we got them. Game on.
Jake Lindsay is warming up for the Fighting Fish down in the bullpen. And the pitch is out, fouled out of play.
And those kids that got the last foul ball might as well stay right there because it's almost the exact same location.
Nielsen at the belt, and he delivers. That's high. Ball 2. Counts even at 2-2 with nobody out.
If you're the Fish, you need runners anyway, anyhow.
And the pitch. Fly ball out into center field. Drifting back is Farmer. He's right there, and he makes the catch.
Who else would you expect? I don't know how many outs Farmer's made today, but
he's made a bunch.
Made a bunch. And if I'm his coach, I'm telling him to play wherever he wants because he seems to know where these fighting fish hitters are hitting the ball.
Well, that's fly ball number 8 that he has caught, or number 4 that he has caught. 1 out. At the plate is Trevor Gutting. 1 for 3. That was low for a ball. He singled to center field, struck out, and grounded out to first. Strike called on the inside corner.
And I'm telling you what, that shortstop for Everest has one really good arm because he plays deep in the hole and he's not afraid to make the long throw.
And the pitch. Check swing. They say he went, and the ball bounced over the catcher.
Not sure if that hit the plate or the dirt or what there.
All I know is that they say that Gutting went, so it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the wind in the pitch. Line shot, stabbed by the shortstop. That's Graham diving and making the stab to rob a base hit from Trevor Gutting.
Back to my point earlier, Graham plays shortstop very deep for a reason.
So it's all up to Brian Gibel, or however they decided to pronounce it.
And if you're the fighting fish, you just want to get on base, whatever it takes.
2 down. And the pitch. Strike 1 called on the inside half of the plate. And the pitch. That's outside for a ball. Brian Giebel. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. We're in the bottom of the 9th. And the pitch. That missed. Josh Nielsen trying to finish this one up. 2 balls and a strike. To Brian Giebel. At the 2-1 pitch. High pop-up, playable. Coming in is second baseman Hoppy, and he makes the catch, and that'll do it.
Do I just see what I see?
Yeah, you do. The Everest Merchants have defeated the River Falls Fighting Fish by a score of 6-2. And we'll be back and wrap this one up in just a moment when we get to talking baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been tuned to the Wisconsin Baseball Association State Tournament Pool Play on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Up next is Talkin' Baseball with a wrap-up of this game. Time now for Talkin' Baseball with a wrap-up of today's WBA State Tournament Pool Play game, brought to you by Mama Squirrels Cleaning and more. And now, back out to the ballpark.
Back here at Carson Park, as we're going to talk a little bit of baseball because we have a team that has punched their ticket to the state finals. The Final Four, that'll be in Osseo tomorrow. The Everest Merchants pull off a big upset by defeating the River Falls Fighting Fish by a score of 6-2. 6-2. The Merchants had 6 runs on 9 hits, no errors, and the Fighting Fish 2 runs on 6 hits and no errors. A very clean ball game and a well-played game on both sides, but the Merchants found times to get their hitting at the right times, and that's what really counted. And the Everest Merchants come out on top. Winning pitcher Josh Nielsen, he went the distance. And the losing pitcher was the starter, Charlie Griffin, for the Fighting Fish. So, we're going to have another ballgame coming up for you in about 25 minutes or so. As we will have the Tilden Tigers taking on the Spooner Cardinals. Tigers trying to secure a trip to the Final Four and be the second team from the CRBL to make it, as the Osseo Merchants have made the Final Four. And so it'd be nice to see another team from the CRBL make that trip. And we will have that coming up in about 25 minutes on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Today's WBA State Tournament Baseball game has been brought to you by Gino's Pizza, right next to Action City, near the intersection of Highways 93 and I-94. Midwest Environmental Consultants, lawn care and soil testing experts for Western Wisconsin. The Goat Coffee House at 336 Water Street for good coffee and great sandwiches. We got to thank them for the breakfast sandwiches they set up this morning. They were just fabulous, and thanks to the fine folks down at the Goat Coffee House for making those for us. Don't forget Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Menominee Eye and Optical with quality personalized care for you and your family. Mama Squirrel's Cleaning and More, ready to get your house sparkling. Your Napa Auto Parts store at 3580 Mall Drive in Eau Claire. Slayton's Technology Service, the official IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. And Royal Credit Union, where they're different in a good way. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you WBA State Tournament action baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. So for Rand Monroe on the computer, Dan Petchow on the camera, and Ben Ryder doing the expert analysis tonight, this is Rick Olson. That final score, once again, the Everest Merchants pull off the upset, defeat the River Falls Fighting Fish by a score of 6-2. You've been tuned to Talkin' Baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been tuned to Talkin' Baseball with a wrap-up of today's WBA State Tournament pooled play game, brought to you by Mama Squirrel's Cleaning and More. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.